Hear the story of Rizpah from 2 Samuel. The war between the house of Saul and the house of David dragged on and on. Abner took advantage of the continuing war between the house of Saul and the house of David to gain power for himself. Saul had had a concubine named Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah. One day, Ishbosheth confronted Abner. "What business do you have sleeping with my father's concubine?" But Abner lost his temper. "Treat me like a dog, will you? Is this the thanks I get for sticking by the house of your father Saul and all his family and friends? I personally saved you from certain capture by David, and you make an issue of me going to bed with a woman." And so Ishbosheth cowered and said no more. Sometime later there was a famine in David's time. It went on year after year after year for 3 years. David went to God seeking the reason. God said, "This is because there is blood on Saul and his house, from the time he massacred the Gibeonites." So the king called the Gibeonites together for consultation. The Gibeonites were not part of Israel. They were what was left of the Amorites, and protected by a treaty with Israel. But Saul, a fanatic for the honor of Israel and Judah, had tried to kill them off. And so David addressed the Gibeonites. "What can I do for you? How can I compensate you, so that you will bless God's legacy of land and people?" The Gibeonites replied, "We don't want any money from Saul or his family, and it's not up to us to put anyone in Israel to death." But David persisted, "What are you saying I should do for you?" Then they told the king, "The man who tried to get rid of us, who schemed to wipe us off the face of Israel, well, let 7 of his sons be handed over to us to be executed, hanged before God at Gibeah of Saul, the holy mountain." David agreed, "I'll hand them over to you." The king spared Mephibosheth, son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the promise David and Jonathan had spoken before God. But the king selected Armani and Mephibosheth, the 2 sons of Rizpah, plus the 5 sons from Saul's daughter Merab, that were born to Adriel, son of Barzillai the Meholathite. He turned them over to the Gibeonites, who hanged them on the mountain before God. All 7 died together. Harvest was just getting underway, the beginning of the barley harvest, when they were executed. Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took rough burlap and spread it out for herself on a rock, from the beginning of the harvest until the heavy rains started. She kept the birds away from the bodies by day and the wild animals by night. David was told what she had done, how day after day she sat at the feet of the dead men. This Rizpah, daughter of Aiah and concubine of Saul. He then went and got the remains of Saul and Jonathan his son from the leaders at Jabesh Gilead. He gathered up their remains and brought them together with the dead bodies of the 7 who had just been hanged. The bodies were taken back to the land of Benjamin and given a decent burial in the tomb of Kish, Saul's father. They did everything the king ordered to be done, and from then on God responded to Israel's prayers for the land.